Hey, this is Mike Addis. Thanks for joining us. It's always our pleasure to bring you this video. So today we're going to talk about asset recovery. I'm going to focus on it and get it over in less than 10 minutes, okay? So asset recovery is a multi-billion, hundreds of billions of dollars. An asset is something that you own. A liability is something that you owe. So an asset would be your house or your car. Could be your computers. I got computers all over the place. So I'm in primarily the mobile device computer business. Mobile device to me, the definition of that is I either deal in tablets or phones. I've niched it down to just those two items and all related accessories. So let me give you an example of an asset recovery deal. I've done thousands of asset recoveries. So I get the word on the street that Vans has 50,000 pairs of shoes. Vans is the shoe company, and they also do surfwear and snowboarding, stuff like that. Back in the 90s. And I've read in the Wall Street Journal that they're in financial trouble, so I know they need cash. So I call up the people at Vans. I say, hey, I hear you have a bunch of shoes, deck shoes. Yeah, we got 50,000 pairs. I said, I want to buy them. How much do you want for them? And they say, well, I want $15 a piece. I said, I can't do it. So we negotiate back and forth, and I ended up buying the deck shoes for $50 each. So 50,000 pairs times 10 bucks. $10 for 50,000 pairs is $500,000. I got to pay them $500,000. I don't have the cash. So I go to a buddy of mine named Roy, and I say, Roy, I need some cash, because he was already buying product from me. There's always somebody out in the industry that you can go to for money. You don't have to go to a bank. Yeah, that would take forever. So I call Roy and say, yeah. I says, well, we got to sell them too. He says, well, I'm going to sell them to Costco. I have an inside guy at Costco that's on his payroll. Calls up the guy from Costco. Guy from Costco says, yeah, I'll buy them. I'm interested. Good. I'll pay you 12 bucks. That's the most I'll pay for those shoes, because the shoes are selling for $39.95. No problem. So I go back to Vans and I say, okay, I'll take them. I'll give you 10 bucks. So there's $2 profit on 50,000 units. That's $100,000 profit. I split it with Roy. I put up a small amount of money. He puts up the rest. I just made $50,000 on an asset recovery. Vans has the shoe they don't want. They need to turn it into cash. They need the cash. They need to make payroll. Business was very bad back then. And they were all kinds of, people were illegal. The government was down their throat. The investors wanted to liquidate the company. Of course, Vans wanted to stay in business. Long and short of it, we ended up keeping Vans in business. We gave them the cash that they needed in order to stay in business. We made $100,000 on 50,000 pairs of shoes. I got 50, Roy got 50, and then we sold them to Costco, who turned around and sold them for $39.95. I think they sold them for $29.95. Everybody made money on the deal. Everybody got what they wanted. Vans got the cash. They needed to stay in business. We made a tremendous profit for 5 days worth of work. Costco got the shoes. They ended up selling it to the public, and the public was happy because they ended up buying the shoes for half of what they would have paid if they bought them new. And it was still a relatively popular shoe. That's asset recovery. Same thing with mobile devices. It's a very exciting business. There's always something out there that you can buy and resell. So when you buy something from somebody, you're actually in the asset recovery business because you paid them something, no matter what platform you use. You could be using eBay, Amazon to buy something. They need to turn it into cash. Mostly could be new, could be used. Doesn't make any difference. Well, where do you find out the market values are figured out on eBay? Or the buyer will tell you what they're willing to pay for it. Then you have to negotiate down from the guy you're buying the product from. It's just a huge business. Matter of fact, asset recovery could be $1 trillion. No doubt about it. And there's tens of thousands of categories. Some people just focus on ladies' handbags. I knew a lady handbag queen. She just did ladies' handbags. That's all she did. And she used big brand names. So I want to do big brand name products. Why do I want to use big brand? Because everyone knows big brand names. It's easier to sell. Apple's put hundreds of millions of billions of dollars in the last 30, 40 years in marketing their product and designing them. There's no way you can duplicate the brand. The brand is just known all over the world. I've been in the middle of nowhere in East Africa, and people are walking around with cell phones. I don't know how the hell they work. I don't know if maybe they're texting or they're just taking pictures of them. I don't know. In the middle of nowhere, Dell. I found a Dell product in the middle of nowhere. It's just a huge brand name, not like Apple, but it's out there. So once again, let's go over the asset recovery business. I'm going to make it brief. I'm looking and searching around for assets that I want. Could be real estate. I've done millions of dollars in asset recovery in real estate. Go into a market, guy has property, he needs to get out of it, he's going through a divorce. Guy next door just sold the property, but that wasn't, a liquidation. That was more of, you got the market value. But I go into some of these markets like in Austin, Texas, when I used to live there, and I would find real estate that was undervalued. Real estate was worth $500,000. I want to go in and buy it for $350,000. Could be Las Vegas, Nevada, at some time in the past. I go in and pay $350,000 for it. I I get the money. I buy the property, and sometimes I would resell the property simultaneously. So I would buy it in the morning and sell it, either 5 minutes later or by the end of the day. I already lined up buyers, and then I would finance the buyer. That's a whole different business, buying and selling houses and making money same day you bought it. My primary business is to find inventory. Say, well, how can I get into the business? I've said before, easy, just take everything that you own that you don't need. You don't need any cash, and just sell it. Then after you sell everything that you don't need, you'll get an idea of what classification you might be interested in. It's a great way to do it. That's what I did. And when you run out of inventory, you say, well, I don't have enough cash. I need more cash. Well, just go to the guy next door. A lot of people out there don't want stuff. There are people that make millions of dollars. They just take all the product on consignment. They don't put any money up. So that's another way to get product. And they say, well, I'm not sure what I want to do. Well, that's the way you find out. The way you find out what you really want if you're going to be in the asset recovery business is you have to do trial and error. Just like everything else in life, you got to test things. You can think about it forever, but the best thing to do is just take a book. This is a composition book, but if you have these new, you just go and find out how much they're selling. They're selling for $2. Then you got to figure your cost involved because you have to pay eBay, for example, and you can put it on major platforms. eBay and Amazon are the two major platforms. And Walmart has a platform too. It's a little difficult to navigate, but that's the example of asset recovery. It's just a wonderful business to be in. It's extremely profitable. I've made literally millions of dollars in that business. And it's not a rocket science business, it's just more like anything else. It's more of a disciplined business. Mike Addis. If you want to know more about the asset recovery business, just send me a comment. I think you could even send me an email. Go to addismike.com. That's our blog page. You can go to MikeAddis2020. That's Instagram. Just send me an email on MikeAddis2020, the Instagram. Hey Mike, I want to know more about the asset recovery business. Sure, no problem. What do you want to know? It's not a big deal. I love comments. Mike Addis, asset recovery is the name of the game for me. And then you can take all that cash that you have coming in and you can invest it in other things. I bought a lot of things with the cash I've made in the asset recovery business, which once again, it's turning something that someone has and they don't want, for whatever the reason is, they want to turn it into cash. There's a million different variations of this business, which I can talk about later and probably will. But for now, this is the introduction. It's Mike Addis, North County, San Diego, Carlsbad. See you on the next video.